Good evening, everybody. This is Robin with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guests tonight are filmmakers Britt, Bankhead, and Grace Victoria Patterson. How's it going, guys?
So great. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we're doing great.
I'm glad, it's about time I finally get you guys on. We were like playing tag.
I know. I was in Rhode Island, and then we went to Sacramento, so we just got back this week, so it's been a little hectic.
All right, nice. Let's talk. I just watched your indie horror vampire film, Insane Like Me. I really enjoyed it. Britt, you play a war hero that comes home to his, small town to be with the woman of his love, which is played by Grace. And you're at this like haunted hotel, and all of a sudden, the love of your life just disappears. So you're on a mission, a quest to find out what's going on with all the crazy paranormal and all the vampires looking around. And your character remind me more like Dean Winchester from Supernatural. Going in there taking care of business. I got the Dean Winchester vibe in a vampire film.
That's a real good compliment, man. Thank you so much.
And the reason I gave you that compliment is, let's talk about the sports cars in the films. You gotta drive some cool sports cars.
You're talking to the right guy.
He loves cars.
So all the cars in the film are my actual cars. So the '67 Impala, the Camaro, the Corvette, and the Dodge Charger. Those were all cars that I wanted to implement into the film because
the one that was Chris's car.
Yeah. Right? The Camaro though belonged to my older brother, and he was killed in Iraq in '07. And Box is my dream car. Just finished it like a month before we started shooting. So I basically did some quick rewrites, wrote that in. So that's why it's like the hero car, and it just kind of fit in with the film. So,
and I love how you also give homage to your brother as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool to use that because he died in 2007. But there's very few things in my life where I can kind of feel like, hey, I'm doing this with my brother, and that was kind of a way where I felt like he was with me on that production. So.
And also, you guys got Eric Roberts, who plays the Crooked Sheriff. So what was it like working with Eric Roberts, and how'd you bring him to be part of this project?
This was my second time working with Eric. I had worked with him on a Lifetime film, just with The Doctor Ordered. But I always love working with him. He's such a great guy. And even my first time working with him, I learned so much from him. He always says the crew works 10 times harder than us. So, always, let them know how much you appreciate them. They're there before you. They leave after you. Just show your appreciation at all times. And he's just such a fun guy to work with.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of iconic to me. So me and my brother grew up watching Best of the Best. I just always loved him. Those kind of karate movies were our jam, So hadn't seen him in an action role in a while, and I thought, hey, what the hell? Let's get him in there. You know what I mean? And so he threw some punches.
Yeah, I love he did really great on the punching stuff.
Yeah, she loved those scenes.
Yeah, he really added just a whole new. I just loved what he brought to the film. I feel like he brought stuff as he always does. But
yeah, absolutely. He brings decades of experience with him too. So he's not shy about sharing and helping.
Exactly. He'll let everybody know his advice, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Eric Roberts and the punches, what was it like to get your ass handed by Eric Roberts?
It was kind of a compliment, to be honest with you. So
those scenes are the best, I think. I love the interrogation scene. That's my favorite scene where he's just going at him.
Hey, that's another thing I'm talking about. You can tell his experience in this industry. He was pulling punches about this far from my face. I'd just see his wedding ring about right here, and all I had to do was react. So
he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Grace, now let's talk about your role since you're mysteriously disappeared. And the one shot I like, you guys did the shot where you were wearing all white, walking down that country road. It gave.
Oh yeah.
I loved the pan shot on it, and I love the less lighting and the darkness of it, and you in that like white like silhouette type of thing, it gave me a paranormal, eerie feeling how you were walking down that road.
Yes, that's what a lot of people say. Like when I like appear, I don't want to give away too many spoilers.
Yeah,
but,
don't.
Like a lot in the film like creeped everybody out. But yeah, I played Samantha. I'm who Britt plays Jake in the movie, is like, you know, pursuing and trying to find what happened to me. But it was such a blast. I was so excited to be a part of the film. I auditioned like very last minute, probably like 3 days beforehand. But I loved the script, and I have never done a film like that. Like mainly I do like lifetime films. I've done like some indie horror, but anything similar to this. So it was super fun. I've never done anything like paranormal either, really. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, so we actually had the whole thing. It was casted, and then, you know, like she said, about 3 days before, something happened. The girl fell out, and I was just in panic mode. Oh my gosh, I gotta, like, because that's such an imperative character, you know, and it's not easy to cast a character like that, because you really do have to find a girl that, you know, kind of has that cool factor, and, you know, the audiences are going to relate with and be like, hey, man, this is why that guy's chasing her. I get it. I think Grace has all those qualities.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about the young actress who played Grace's younger sister in the film.
Samantha.
Yeah, we love her.
Yeah, she was so great. I mean, she nailed that role to the T. She was perfect for that role. I mean, she knew what she was doing in the whole film. And especially with Britt, you and her had that great chemistry in the film. You guys like played off each other like, you know, if you guys were like a big brother and little sister, you know, going on this like adventure, you know, kicking ass, killing vampires to save her older sister. It just gave that authentic feel between you guys when I was watching it.
Yeah, she's so talented, and she's so sweet in person as well.
Yeah, she is.
She's like, we just saw her like Friday. She's like amazing. Yeah, she's gonna go really far.
Yeah, I think so. Like, she's really easy to work with and act off of as well. I mean, she sprouts those emotions, and it's really easy to get in the moment and get lost in those scenes with her. You know, so.
The one character that was really annoying in the film was the actor who played Eric Roberts' son, the deputy. You know something? When I was, he was so annoying. I felt like I wanted to go right through the screen and just beat the living tar out of him, man.
He's hilarious. Paul is so funny. I know. I think that like that's the point. Like he's supposed to be kind of like just like that like annoying son who's like, you know, like, why are you doing what you're doing, man?
He is the first person I met, and he actually read for the part in a script read, and I mean, like, he nailed that character exactly how I had it written, you know, and I auditioned other actors just to make sure, but I mean, that dude just nailed it. And,
he's so funny.
Yeah, he's one of my good friends now, so like, I don't know. He's a good actor. He's gonna go far too.
Yeah, but his character did annoy me too. I'm like, why are you denying everything? Like, dude.
Right.
And then, especially, you know, Eric Roberts' role as the sheriff, he also had that little J.R. Ewing villain kind of vibe to him, you know.
Yeah.
I think they acted really well off of each other too.
They did.
They're hilarious.
Some of those scenes I joke around with her, and I'm like, I'm gonna write a prequel spin-off series, and it's just gonna be about Eric Roberts and his son like, investigating crimes. I think that's
comedy.
Cool. Yeah.
So, how did you come up with the story to write something about vampires? Was it off an experience in your life, or what decides you to do this type of film?
I kind of think it was a little bit of off of my life, not so much with the girl part, but I experienced that with my brother when I lost my brother in Iraq again. I was going to LA. I was going to go out there and start acting, and then that happened, and it kind of diverted my path, and I joined the Army Infantry, and I spent 7 years in the Army, and there's just something that I think is uncommonly, I don't know, just fill in those shoes, you know. So I can relate to a character like that pretty easy. I can fall into that pretty easily, and you know, those memories are pretty strong with me. So that's kind of what I think about when I do a character like this. So
I liked it because it was like very deep how you written it. Because I kind of figured maybe if it was like a past experience in your life, that's what I was asking. Because that's the kind of vibe I got when you were doing this film. I was like, there must have been something, you know, in this life that made him write this and put vampires in, you know, just to get all that stress out.
Yeah, you know, the vampires come from, you know, just my love of horror films too. You know, The Lost Boys, you know, that's one of my favorite films. Yeah, and action films. I love that whole genre, and like when you can put them all together, you know, there's references to other horror movies I enjoy. You know, they talk about going to Myers Creek because of Michael Myers, or Mary Loomis because Billy Loomis was the killer in Scream. So there's just all those little fun little things that I put into the script that just kind of like a nod to all the films that kind of gave me like inspiration for this.
Another nod you did too. You did a nod to Bram Stoker's Dracula because the main vampire, you know, doctor was Dr. Stroker. And I started going, man, that is pretty cool because he's not into Bram Stoker's Dracula. and the actor who played him, he did a very good job. He really got under my skin. And I love, you know, the torture scenes. I'm not going to spoil it. What happens to somebody. And it was like very bloody and brutal. I like how you shot that.
Oh my gosh. I can't watch that part.
Yeah, because I was looking at that, I was like, dang, they went all in and he wrote all this. I mean, it was just brutal, man. And you have to give props to the actor who's taken that total, you know, being brutalized, beat up, and, you know, tied up. I mean, it was wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
The actor was Marie that had her lips sewn and stuff. She's like such a trooper. She was standing in fake blood for like 12 hours or something.
Yeah.
She's like a trooper.
She had that prosthetic over her mouth too, so she couldn't even talk, or like she was just like covered in blood, mouth shut, like she's a trooper.
She's a trooper.
Now let's talk about who did the visual effects in the film.
Jeff Hamm. Jeff Hamm, he's a local filmmaker.
Yeah, it's crazy because I had actually done a short film with him, like, I don't know, in 2018 or something, and then it's crazy to full circle to work with him again.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, now who did all the blood and the makeup? I mean, that was pretty good too, especially on the vampires.
Yeah, her name's Crystal.
Yeah, Crystal. She's a really good makeup artist, and like she did a lot with that blood. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know if this is trivia. I don't know.
Like,
yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if this is trivia or not, but some of the spots, it was so cold when we were filming, so some of the blood like was freezing to people's faces. Yeah, it was
it's like
right. It was an experience.
It was an experience.
Also, how it ended. I'm not going to spoil it because I'm not one of those people that spoil film. I like how it ended. So, is there going to be like a part 2 to see what happens with our heroes?
Potentially,
yeah.
Yes.
Potentially. So, I may or may not have written a script for it.
Yeah.
There better be have one because. Yeah, you guys left us hanging. You left me hanging, man. I'm just guessing, going, okay, they did what they needed to do. It's like, so what are they going to do next? Are they going to start going on the road, you know, just like the Winchesters and just go around just taking out vampires, or what?
Not quite, but it's
you have to wait and see.
It's juicy. It's juicy.
Look at Grace. She's getting all excited. She's like, yeah, man, I can't wait. I just love playing, you know, a supernatural type of vampire being, and I'm just having a great time and having a blast. So, also, Grace, you did a lot of Lifetime films. So, were they more like the dark thrillers?
Yeah, I've done mainly like dark thrillers. I've done one rom-com, but majority dark thrillers. I just did one actually that's going to be coming out probably later this year where I'm actually the killer, which was like fun. But majority, yeah, I'm usually like, oh my gosh, like why is everybody dying around me? Let me find out why. That's kind of usually the vibe. But yeah, so I have experience like in like I've done like indie horror films. Like back in college, I did one, The Demon Inside, which that one like got like pretty good distribution, but majority like Lifetime thriller for sure.
Yeah, whoever writes those, man, are like fucked up in the head, man. They're
super fun though. It is so funny. I'm like, wait, why are all my like I've done a lot of sorority ones, a lot of cheerleader ones. I was a professional cheerleader in Texas for the Dallas Stars, and so that's kind of how I got into the Lifetime stuff, like doing like Killer Cheerleader, Pom Pom Murders. Like I did like all of these like cheerleader ones, which was fun to use my real life cheerleading experience. Put it to good use.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. So you're a Dallas Stars cheer. That's cool. That's my favorite hockey team.
No way! What? Mine too.
And I was mad because they didn't go further into the playoffs this year. That pissed me off.
Yeah. Usually they do though. They're pretty solid team.
All right, let's here's another. Okay, I got a good question for you guys. Okay, Britt. So you're writing the film. It was you, Grace, Eric Roberts. So who would die first in your horror film? Who's the instigator, and who would be the killer?
I think Grace would be the killer.
What?
Yeah. Eric would be the instigator. And I guess that just leaves me for the last one, huh?
The killer. I think it's just I just played a killer, so I've been giving him weird vibes.
Well, I run lines with her before she goes.
I freaked him out. I did it too well.
I was like, that's starting to become method acting.
Oh, I'll tell you something. I can see Grace being a method actor if she keeps on doing all these indie.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not saying it all the time. I can see it sometimes. I'm seeing you doing more indie horror films. You look like you got that final girl vibe about yourself, man.
I do, yeah. I do the final girl vibe a lot. Yeah, I love horror, so I did have a lot of fun doing my rom-com though. But I like my horror is like my root and what I mainly have experience in. So I love it. And horror movies are my favorite to watch anyway.
So, Britt, what got you into filmmaking and your love for the horror genre?
I'd have to say, there's never been a time in my life where I didn't love movies. I've loved movies since I was, able to walk. Ghostbusters was my first, thing that I was into. I mean, it just kind of spiraled from there. I had an older brother. I remember staying up late on Friday nights. We'd watch the Friday the 13th marathons that they used to have. You remember those? And, I don't know. I've just always enjoyed horror movies, like the 80s slasher type specifically. And,
So if you're in the 80s slasher type of feelings, I know you've seen Dressed to Kill with Michael Caine and Angie Dickinson.
I have not.
What?
It's called Dressed to Kill. I've heard of that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, Michael Caine plays a serial killer that dresses in drag and kills his victims, and he goes after Angie Dickinson, and then he got this bloody, brutal, psycho type of scene. I'm not going to ruin it. It's involved in an elevator, man. It'll get right under your skin, man.
Let's check it out. I was more of a Halloween was my favorite, I think. So.
Yeah, I liked Halloween too. The reason why I liked the original Halloween was because it was practical effects. There was no blood when Michael did the killing, but it was right in your mind. You were using your imagination, what you're thinking, going, okay, how you seen what he's really killing them and all that. There's no blood, and you're just trying to figure out what type of kill is he doing on this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So I agree with that.
Oh heck yeah! So Grace, what other indie horror films have you been in besides the one you were in college?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think. I've done like
Slotherhouse.
Oh, I did Slotherhouse.
You were in. Oh, that's right. I was going to ask you about that. I had the filmmakers.
Yes.
I had the filmmakers on the podcast.
No way! That was like the wait. Who did you have on there?
I had the main writers. It was
okay, Matthew.
Yeah, and what's her name?
Oh yes. Yeah. I love like Slotherhouse was one of the best experiences of my life. Like it was so much fun. We shot it in Serbia for 2 months. But it was a blast. Yeah. So that was like super random. I knew Ryan Gibson. We like were friends on Instagram, and they were casting. I was a small role in it. I die by the sloth, but my death is like pretty quick.
Did you die though?
Yeah, did I die? Like, who knows? But like, yeah, I did technically die. But he like messaged me, he's like, "Can you be in Serbia in like 3 days?" And I'm like, "What?" And so, anyways, that's how I got into Slotherhouse. And yeah, then it was like number 7 on Hulu, which was awesome. But it was such a surreal experience. Like, yeah, we stayed in Belgrade. It was a blast. The sloth puppet was super cool. Like, yeah, we shot in the White Palace, which is where I think they shot Knives Out too. It was beautiful. But yeah, so that was one. Then The Demon Inside. I think those are the 2 most like notable ones, probably. I don't know if I did like Texas Zombie Wars, and like I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. I have to look at my IMDb honestly, but like lots of like horror stuff like that, and then mainly like Lifetime. But Slotherhouse was definitely like one of the top experiences for me.
That movie was so much fun. I saw it at the theater because it was only for a 1-day event, and I was like, man, I like this movie. It was cheesy and it was fun. And my favorite scene in Slotherhouse is the part where you see the sorority sister. She's like walking real slow, and you see the lights turn off, and then lightning turn on. And you see the Slother like going real slow. It's like Stock getting ready to like kill her. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so brilliant. So I go, and so after I watched it, it's like, man, I gotta get the writers on there. So I did a lot of research, and I reached out to them. I was like, hey, can you come on and talk about Slotherhouse? They're like, sure. So I'll send you guys the episodes so you can listen to it.
Oh, please do.
Oh my!
Yeah, they were amazing to work with. Like, they were amazing.
I loved it. It was because it was just a classic like sorority type of horror. You know, it's like, oh, okay, this is cool. Let's get in the sorority house. Okay, let's see what happens.
Yes. I know, it was so much fun. Yeah, so that's probably like my I guess biggest indie horror one, because that one did kind of blow up. Like it was in People magazine and like on Hulu and then theaters. So my family like rented a theater for it, and we like got balloons of sloths and like got all these like sloth props and like brought them into the theater.
So Britt, have you, besides Insane Like Me, have you wrote or directed any other indie horror films I should check out?
Yeah. I mean, just nothing huge, but I did a series. It was called Winchester.
Okay.
1 episode of it, and then that was about it. But yeah,
They have a military movie.
I directed that, and then I'm doing a military movie in the fall. So I think that's going to be my biggest thing yet. So we're really excited about that. It's a true story, and we've got a really great writer that's, we're meeting with all the guys that were actually there on that day, and yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good.
That's pretty cool. So you did an episode of Winchester. Was that Supernatural spinoff show?
Yeah, right. I did it during COVID, so its production value is pretty lousy, but I had a lot of good actors in it. So yeah.
I'll tell you something. I hated that show. That show sucked.
Mine was not like the show, but I saw them do that show, and I was like, oh, I guess I just did this at the wrong time. So I reeled it in, but I had written a lot on that, and I was, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. At least you got to be part of the Supernatural, universe. I mean, it was about Dean and Sam's parents. I mean, I would take credit about that. Hey, I got to write something about the Winchesters.
I got a 67 Impala out of the deal, so it wasn't too shabby.
Wait a second. They gave you a 67 Impala.
No. This was one that I just did on my own.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second.
No. I did go look for a 67 Impala though, and I still have it, and it's the one I used in this film actually.
Yeah, that's what you just mentioned. Yeah, because I was looking at. That's why I was saying you kind of remind me of Dean Winchester when you like popped into that Impala, and then of course the other cool. I mean, you were looking like a cool Dean Winchester, man. That's why. And when I was talking to Grace before the podcast, I was telling Grace that I was like, man, your husband's got that Dean Winchester vibe, man. And she's like, I'm gonna tell him that, and I was like, well,
I was like, I love that.
She was like, who's Dean Winchester?
No, I know.
Nah, she was just messing with you too. So since everybody loves horror, what's your go-to horror film?
Oh gosh, the one that we just saw in theaters was The Watchers. I actually really, really enjoyed that with
Dakota Fanning.
Who's that? Yeah, Dakota Fanning. I love her. But go-to of like all time, probably like The Shining or like House at the End of the Street. That one's good.
I'll tell you, every year at Halloween, I watch all the Halloweens.
Yeah, those are good too.
From the start of it all the way to the 2020, I guess it was 2022, the last one came out, or 2021. Yeah.
So do you watch all the Rob Zombie ones too?
Yeah. So she actually liked the Rob Zombie ones the best.
Really? What made you like the Rob Zombie version more?
I can't remember why I liked them the best.
I think it was because it had more of a backstory on him.
Yeah, I liked the backstory of the kid stuff. Yeah, that's right. Because I liked the details of them better. Because I like to know like why is this person like this? Like,
right.
So that's why those were more like fascinating. As like a true crime lover, I think that's why I liked it.
So I can't wait to see your that military film you're going to do. I'll definitely want to check that out too. So are you going to do another horror film besides maybe a sequel to Insane Like Me? And the type of horror film are you? Okay, if you had a script right now and wrote it all down, what type of horror film would you be writing at this time? The genre of what?
I think we both agree we were going to do like a slasher.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do like a slasher movie.
Just
because those are so like classic.
Yeah, absolutely. So
probably a slasher might be like the next move.
Yeah, that would be it.
There's a lot of slasher films going on right now. I mean, they're everywhere. Like, there's a slasher film called Stiletto that looks pretty good, and then you got another one called the I think it was the Meat Killer. It's like this, like, I had the filmmaker on it. It was just weird. I'll have to send it to you. It's like, the killer's weird. I don't know. It's just, it was just like trippy. I was like, okay, I can like picture that a little bit. Cause the killer, wore, this mask and it was all with, metal studs all over it.
Oh my god!
And he wore like a black leather jacket, and it was like filmed it like they made it like in the 80s, and he's going to.
Is this a Totally Killer?
Yes. No, not Totally Killer.
We love that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, one of the best movies I've seen in so long.
Yeah, we love that movie. That was really good. We watched it twice. Actually.
We watched it twice.
Yeah.
I think it was fun. It's like it kind of reminds me of Back to the Future meets a horror slasher, going back to the 80s, and that killer's mask, man, it kind of gave me that creepy Ken doll feel.
Yeah, that was such an amazing movie.
Yeah, it was. So
now let's go. Yeah, let's go back to your movie Insane Like Me. Who did the music score in the film? Because a lot of music scores are very like important in horror films, especially in certain scenes or play off of characters. I love some of that score in that film.
Yeah, so Edward Antonio, one of my good friends, he scored the film, and I think he did a beautiful job on it. And then there was a song we used from my friend Jacob and Jared Golden in the film as well, and Keaton Simmons. It's Eric's son.
Yes.
He does the credits song. So
Eric's son does the credits song, really?
Yes.
Yeah, Keaton Simmons. So
wow, that's I'm like, dang, you got a lot of cool people on that film, man. You knew what you were doing.
So I think it's just like a little bit of luck and right time, right place. And
gosh, I need to find your films, Grace, of a Lifetime, especially the cheerleader. I want.
Yes, watch my Lifetime movies. Let me know.
I'm going to, and I'm gonna do little reviews. I'm gonna review them on in one big
reviews. Let me know what you think.
I'll be like, let's talk about Grace's Lifetime thriller films, and I'll find them and watch them all.
22 of them, so.
Well, it's a trip because everybody I interview have starred in a Lifetime film. Everybody I've had on, it's like, yeah, I was in several of those, and I was like,
yeah, there's such a great place to get your start.
So, Grace, do you ever see you and Britt doing a Hallmark movie?
Ooh, a Hallmark? Would you like to do a rom-com?
I don't know.
He's never expressed interest in doing a rom-com, but I feel like we could.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
or you could do a horror film Hallmark. I haven't seen a Hallmark horror film.
Yeah.
That'd be cool in the Hallmark universe.
Hallmark horror or action. I know his main passion's action movies, so
action's
maybe I could just join him in action.
Action's my second favorite genre. It's horror, action, and sci-fi. Oh yeah, you can't go the difference without an action film. Come on.
Same thing, 80s action. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, just like that.
Jeff Speakman, Van Damme, all those.
Chuck Norris.
Oh, Chuck Norris. That was my childhood hero. I think I've seen every one of his films, man.
Really?
My favorite one of his was Lone Wolf McQuade.
Yeah.
Man, that was so great. Him and David Carradine, that whole fight scene. Karate versus Kung Fu.
I'm telling you, that was epic.
Hey, I'm having a blast tonight on my show because I can talk about everything. I love to talk about horror, but
yes.
I like to switch the subject around. That's why my podcast is so unique and different. That's why everybody likes coming on because they just have a blast. I get to the business about your film you're talking about, and then I love to add other stuff just to make it fun. So I hope you guys are having fun.
Oh yeah, we are. We were so excited for this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a blast. But Insane Like Me. Are you going to do it do a distribution deal? And are there going to be any physical media copies coming out in the near future?
There are DVDs out on Amazon, in Best Buy, Target, Walmart, and then it will be on other streaming sites in July. I believe Peacock and definitely Tubi. So it will get a wider release in July.
So
yeah.
Oh, good. I'm getting the copy because I support physical media. Because right now, the movie studios and all that are trying to get rid of physical media because they want it all streaming. Because a lot of people want to do the streaming. I'm like, yeah, there's certain films you have to watch streaming because they'll never come on physical media. But I want that copy, man. I want it.
It's a DVD on Amazon. It's on there right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely get it, and then I'm gonna send it to you guys and have you guys sign it.
Yes, that'd be awesome. Right. Yeah, we ordered some DVDs too. It's right over there.
Yeah.
See, look at you. You got the DVDs too. But like I said, I just love the whole film. I just love the characters. I loved Britt's character in the whole film. Britt's character was my fave through the whole film.
Yeah, no, everybody was like, wait, he's a great action star. Right.
So, when you guys showed it at the theater, what was the audience reaction and what was your reaction sitting there watching it with the audience?
It was kind of interesting because, we met on this film. I don't know if you knew that.
No, really? Do tell.
Yeah, we met on this film. So there's like, at the beginning, there's a steamy little piece of film, and we're sitting
like a makeout scene,
right? And we're sitting there watching with our whole family.
Yeah, and everyone's like,
Grace like slither down.
My dad's like, I know why you hired her.
Well, look at now. You guys are together now, and you're making films.
Yeah. No, totally, but it was kind of embarrassing.
Hey.
But the overall reaction was good. I feel like everyone was like engaged in the film the entire time. Like,
yeah, I kept looking around and everyone kind of like glued to the screen. So
yeah, I think everybody really liked it.
Right.
So, did you show it at like a lot of film festivals too? When
No, we just kind of had like a premiere, like a little like home premiere, like with like swimming and like grilled some like hamburgers and like
we had some of the cast come in,
cast and crew,
and it was like pretty small, and everybody had a great time though.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's pretty cool because I do a lot of those. I go and cover a lot of those. I'll go to those premieres and like get interviews and stuff because I love covering horror film festivals and these little premieres. And I go around, looking online, like near me and stuff. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go crash this red carpet event. And there's some I have done before, to get in there and get the interviews. And some filmmakers go. Some of the filmmakers go, "You're bold," and I was like, "Hey, I just like
you gotta be in this industry."
Yeah, I just like supporting indie horror. And what's your thoughts about how indie horror's getting more popular? Because you're seeing more of the indie horror films coming on the big screens now.
Yeah, I think people are really into it. I'm like really excited for indie film to like have more power in the industry. I just feel like people are realizing like, hey, like, anybody can kind of like go get a camera now and like make a good movie if they have what it takes, and people are more open to seeing like what other people have to offer versus like only the big studios. So I think it's awesome that people are paying attention and like allowing indie filmmakers who are talented to like be seen and get out there.
I respect, indie horror filmmakers because you guys may not have a lot of money, but you know how to make it just right. How Gloria didn't like how if you did a mainstream where it's controlled by everything, and you guys and indie filmmakers can shoot anywhere they want. They can go to any abandoned place or this and this without any restrictions. And I give a lot of indie horror filmmakers and regular indie filmmakers a lot of respect because you guys put your heart and soul into it. And sometimes you may have little money where you have to cut certain things where you want to do a certain scene, but you couldn't do it because of the budget. And
the heartbreaking part right there is like going back and cutting scenes that you wanted to shoot. That was so heartbreaking for me because there's a lot of scenes I wanted to shoot in this film and I didn't get to.
Yeah.
And
but you can only do what you can do with the budget, and that's like what makes it cool. Is like everybody's like coming together as a family and as a team to like make something happen on limited days, on limited hours, and on limited budget, and everyone really pours everything they have into it.
Yeah.
That's why I like indie horror. I also like there's also some crazy ones that are like real cheesy with the bad acting. It's like, okay, this movie is not good, but I just like watching it because of the acting and how you can tell they've never been actors in their life, and they try to so hard, and you're like trying to root for them. It's like, oh, you can make this convincing. Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
You can do it. That's actually so funny.
What was your favorite scene in the film?
Oh, my favorite scene in the film was the one with Dr. Stroker butchering that victim, man. Just sitting there going to town.
My God.
Yeah, that's my second favorite. But my first favorite, I went back and watched it 3 times, and I had to rewind to that scene, is where you're getting beat up by Eric Roberts. I can watch that over and over again.
That's my favorite, too.
I think that's an all-time favorite.
Yeah, that's my favorite also.
All right, I'm going to also tell you a funny Eric Roberts story. I met Eric Roberts, too, okay? I was at a convention. He was at a convention. I was like, okay, I'll go get, because I'm like you. I like the best of the best movies, and plus I also love the American Ninja movies with Michael Dudikoff. But yeah, so I had my VHS copy of Best of the Best to go get it signed. And I was like, he signed it, and I was like, so, can I get a picture with you? He's like, yeah, come behind the table with me. And I go, okay, where do you want me to stand? He goes, sit on my lap. So I sat on Eric Roberts' lap. I'll send you the picture. He has his arm around me, and you can tell him sitting on his lap when he took the picture. And it just I felt weird. I was like, why am I sitting on Eric Roberts' lap?
That's so
I mean, he was a cool guy, but I was just sitting there. I felt, this is weird. I'm sitting on the grown man's lap.
That's so awesome.
And my friend was laughing. He said, oh, you sat on Eric Roberts' lap. And I was like, oh, well. I mean, I got the picture, but, if you want me to sit on the lap. And I said, okay. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, sure. And I just went, pop. I'll send you guys the picture. You guys will be laughing. You can tell because he has his like arm around my shoulder and stuff, and like he's like pointing at the camera, and I'm just sitting there. You can tell my little smile. I'm like, So where can everybody find you on social media and to know what you guys are doing next, and where they can watch Insane Like Me?
Yes, so I'm Grace Victoria Patterson. He's just Britt Bankhead. It's pretty simple on Instagram. We're both only really on Instagram.
Yeah.
We don't use any other social media. And then Insane Like Me is on Apple TV, DirecTV, Amazon Prime, Fandigo, Google Play, YouTube, Microsoft. I think that's...
Get Amazon Prime.
Yeah, we got Amazon Prime. So all basically anywhere if you search it, Apple, we got that. And then it will be on Tubi and Peacock and stuff in July as well. Yeah, but definitely Tubi at least in July.
Yeah. All right.
And then
or where?
The DVD.
Oh,
Target, Walmart, Best Buy.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be looking for that DVD, and it better be at Walmart. It better be, damn it.
Or Amazon. Either way, whatever.
You know what I'm going to do? If I find it at Walmart, I'll make a little video and send it to you. I'll be like,
please,
look,
please.
I'm going to Walmart and be like, ooh, what film is this? I promise you, I'll do a video if I find it at Walmart. I'll do a little video where I'm picking it up and be like...
That would be awesome. I'll put it on we also have our Instagram, Bankhead Productions. So if you do that, I'll post it on our Bankhead Productions.
Oh, I'm going to do that. It's on Donkey Kong.
Okay, awesome.
All right. You guys, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you so much for having us.
And everybody, thank you for listening to Horror Pop After Midnight. Have a great